having that match with Goldberg was great for both of us, really. I mean, because not at the time for me, because it just I got I was just one more number on the train, but the quality of the match, when Goldberg wasn't having the most outstanding level of matches and continued not to have them, which he'll admit, he'll tell you, right, he'll be very frank about it, that he didn't have great matches, so I'm not saying anything out of turn. And so people really remember that match. Plus it was on Nitro, plus it was a US title match, so yeah, so that was great. In fact, I even forgot that I had a second match with him on Thunder, which Shannon Moore said to me one day. He goes, I love that match you had with Goldberg on Thunder. I go, no, it was on Nitro. He goes, no, it was on Thunder. And then he showed it to me. I was like, yeah, I didn't even remember we had that. So we actually had two good matches, but it also didn't have the prestige of the first one on Nitro. So, but I'm really happy to have had two of Goldberg's best matches. So that's pretty cool. I think the problem with the run of Goldberg at the end wasn't that the matches weren't longer, but it was that they beat him. They never should have beat him. He had the whole company on his back. I mean, I think that was a purely ego-driven decision, and it wasn't based on business. And what are you gonna do? That's the way this business is like that. The only difference is now there's only one place to go, and then there were only two places to go. But back in the day when there were 30 places to go, you could have ego-driven, because they'd go out of business, or they'd run the territory into the ground, and then they would build it back up with something else. I mean, so you could survive stuff like that, and not that you couldn't survive stuff like this, but you keep screwing with your audience, they get, eventually they get like, all right, enough's enough. I would have definitely kept them undefeated a lot longer. I think the mindset was, besides being slightly ego-driven, was the fact that, well, we have to beat him. It'll give him sympathy, but it just wasn't time for it yet. I mean, he was a unique thing that didn't apply to the rules. He was an exception, and sometimes you can't apply. That's why there are exceptions to rules. Did I ever think Goldberg would be hitting a WrestleMania in 2017? Well, not that precise year, but sure, yeah, absolutely, because I knew he'd eventually get his WrestleMania moment, because I've ran into him over the years, and in fact, I did a tour with him. I forget where we were, overseas somewhere, and he definitely wanted to wrestle for his kid, and he's also a shrewd businessman. He's smart enough to know that if he's going to do it, he wants to make the big money. And WrestleMania is the big money, and and Vince likes to bring out the big ticket items, so to speak. The e-ticket rides, as they used to say about Disney World before, it was like a one pass you buy, but they used to, all the special rides where you had to have a special ticket for. And yeah, so I mean, eventually it was going to happen.
I'm not sure.
I didn't predict 2017 exactly. I had on 2014 to 2019, but somewhere in there.